very high. Can I put it up? Thanks. Let's talk about money. Let's talk about the new homes bonus, a cool approximately £7 million received by North Somerset Council from central government for new houses built in North Somerset. And it's a gift that keeps on giving. The government continues to pay a sum of money for each new property for a full 5 years after it has been built. Much of the money has been earned in Portishead. Does this council know how much of this money has actually been spent in Portishead? I have a freedom of interest request in with the Town Council at the moment, in which I ask how much Section 106 money has been earned in Portishead, how much has been spent in Portishead and what on, how much is still outstanding and how much has had to be given back because the time limit when it could have been used has run out. I believe this council should know the answers to these questions. They should know how much these monies add up to. I believe that this council should be lobbying North Somerset to ensure that a fair share of this money is spent on our town. This is a time when our town is beginning to look a bit like a third world country, with litter strewn along Portbury 100, broken pavements, massive potholes and an overwhelmed infrastructure. But this council, who should have the interests of the residents of our town at heart, don't seem to have these answers and don't seem interested in them. They're content to let our town fall into decay. Nailsea and Clevedon both step in where they see a need, but our council don't seem to want to upset the executive committee. I recently read a copy of the local Conservative Party manifesto. Are residents aware that since 2007 this council has reduced the local precept, the council tax paid by us for the running of our town, by 27.4%? The councillors were aware that any increase in taxation would have a serious impact on the budget of Portishead residents. Most people would agree with this, until they realise what claptrap it actually is. The average precept levied by the Town Council in Portishead is a mere £25 per year. The serious impact is merely the cost of one bottle of wine per year. The result of this reduction in council tax has meant progressive reductions of funds that should have been available to support the town each year since 2007. This year alone, the effect is that about £60,000 this year has been lost to Portishead, which could have been used for providing facilities for residents, including a skate park. We seem to be landed with a council where some are bored, some are rude, and some are parsimonious. We have a council where some members are bored with making sure residents have leisure facilities that include activities for all ages in our town. Maybe these folks should make way for someone a bit more committed to do the job they were elected to do. To this end, I call for the resignation of Don Cameron, Councillor Cameron. By his own admission, boredom has struck at least twice in the past year. The rude think they have the right to make impertinent personal remarks and insults and should be allowed to get away with it. This is morally repugnant. You know who you are, and you also need to consider your position as you're bringing our town council into disrepute. The parsimonious block all spending. We can't afford it. Yet we have a healthy bank balance with close to £0.5 million in reserve, reinvested yearly, and very little is used for its real purpose, which is to improve our town.
Mrs Davey, you had just over 4 minutes.
I'll just finish off.
How long?
I have a terrible feeling of déjà vu. Last year, a councillor claimed the highlight of the year was the provision of 3 benches that were donated by others. A couple of weeks ago, this council were discussing benches again. And will we be in the same position as last year, with all that can be shown for a year's work are a couple of benches donated by someone else?
Thank you.